Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of After the Trial. Here I will be telling you about horror stories come to life, about the people who were involved, and where they are now, after the trial. In this episode, we will learn about Ian Watkins, the frontman, lead singer, and lyricist for the now disbanded band, Lost Prophets, and, more importantly, a sick individual who used his fame to allow him to commit unspeakable acts to animals, children, and babies. If you would rather bypass hearing about the atrocities he committed and go straight to after the trial, you can skip ahead to the time on screen. Ian Watkins was born on July 30th, 1977 in Wales. He attended Hawthorne High School with his future bandmate Mike Lewis. He completed a degree in graphic design and graduated from the University of Wales, Newport, with first-class honors. In 1991, Ian Watkins and Mike Lewis started the band Aftermath, which premiered primarily in a shed in Ian's backyard. After the disbanding of Aftermath, Ian met Lee Gaze, and the two formed Fleshbind, though that was short-lived. The two would start the band Lost Prophets, spelt with two words, both being capitalized, while Ian would also sing vocals with Mike Lewis in the band Public Disturbance, until 1998, when he would leave Public Disturbance so that he could focus on the newly named Lost Prophets, one word, no capitalizations. In 2008, Watkins took part of a concert for Kidney Wales Foundation and stated his reasons for participating were as a result of his mother needing a kidney transplant, stating, "Having that direct experience is why I wanted to get more involved with Kidney Wales and organize a fundraising concert on New Year's Eve." Ian Watkins at first was known as straight edge, someone who did not drink or do drugs, and he was proud of this fact. Not long after Lost Prophets began to gain fame, Ian began taking cocaine. This eventually led to heroin, and then to crystal meth on top of abuse to alcohol. On December 19th, 2012, Ian Watkins was charged with the conspiracy to engage in sexual activity with a 1-year-old girl, and with possession and/or distribution of indecent images of children and extreme animal pornography. He was in custody, as were two of his female accused, and his lawyers said Ian Watkins would deny the accusations. On December 31st, 2012, he appeared at Cardiff Crown Court via video link from HM Prison Park in Bridgend, and was remanded in custody until March 11th, 2013. The case was adjourned until May, with the trial date set for July 15th. On June 3rd, at a hearing, he denied the charges. The trial started on November 25th and was expected to last a month. On the 26th of November, Watkins pleaded guilty to attempted rape and sexual assault of a child under 13, but not guilty to rape. This was accepted by prosecution. He further pleaded guilty to 3 counts of sexual assaults involving children, and 6 involving taking, making, or possessing indecent images of children, and 1 of possessing an extreme pornographic image involving a sex act on an animal. The 2 female accused, only known as B and P, were both at trial. B, who had a little boy, had allowed Watkins to give the boy methamphetamine, or ice, and attempted to perform sexual acts on the boy while being recorded. B also took part in sexually assaulting the 1-year-old. Afterwards, B would send texts to Watkins discussing details of other meetups and pictures of her sexually abusing her son. The other female, P, was a little older than B, and had talks with Watkins about moving in together. Watkins is shown having texted, "If you belong to me, so does your baby," in which she responds, "Understandable, a mother-daughter slave duo worshipping you," with Watkins responding, That's all she'll know, a life of filth. There were pictures taken of P sexually abusing her daughter and sending pictures and video to Watkins, and discussions of making the little girl take drugs and perform sexual acts on animals. The day after Watkins pleaded guilty, he told a female companion on the phone that the case was mega lulz, which was a catchphrase of Watkins he used often. However, what is also disturbing is that Ian Watkins had been reported several times 4 years earlier by an ex-lover named Joanne. The two entered a sexual relationship for 2 years when Watkins began telling Joanne about all the 14-year-olds he had taken the virginity of, and that he wanted to get Joanne pregnant so he could abuse the baby. Joanne threatened to tell the police after she became convinced he was harming children. Watkins had a gag order drawn up saying she had made everything up, and Joanne is said to have signed it under duress. For the next 4 years, she would still speak with South Wales Police and Social Services to no avail. Every time she spoke with Ian Watkins, he would practically shove the evidence into her lap as if goading her, wanting a reaction from her. Every time, she would return to the South Wales Police and Social Services. The police always gave her the runaround, most likely using the gag order she used as a reason to do nothing. Social Services would take her evidence and told her they couldn't discuss it any further. Joanne actually got into contact with one of the female accused, B, at the beginning of her and Watkins' relationship. She tried to get B to bring what evidence she had to the police with her, and it seemed like she would, claiming to be disturbed by some of the comments Watkins had made towards her child. They set a date, but B never showed. A month later, the first acts against B's child began, according to the evidence of pictures and video. It was due to the Essex and Metropolitan Police sharing their evidence and more allegations with South Wales Police that suspicions now grew. Watkins was arrested with bail 3 weeks later, and he was quickly out, then leaving with Lost Prophets on tour. After the tour, he was arrested again, now with enough evidence, and him and the women B and P are charged with a series of sexual offenses. Ian Watkins was sentenced to 29 years in prison with 6 more years on license. Women B and P were sentenced to 14 and 17 years. This is only the beginning, however, as now investigators are looking to find if there were any other victims or offenders linked to Watkins or his associates in Germany, America, or England. His parents, who attended the trial, could not believe what was transpiring, shocked to hear the charges against their son, who had always been a good-natured and well-adjusted child growing up. His stepfather John, saying afterwards, "It's the first thing a parent asks themselves. Where did we go wrong? Ian was loved, cherished, encouraged, and nurtured." In July of 2016, the Twitterverse was shocked to find 3 new tweets from the singer, one promoting a new track by Watkins' side project, L'amour la morgue, on SoundCloud, another promoting a user MacLeod, and another for a mixtape of his old work on his side project. Many believe the Twitter was hacked, or his SoundCloud was hacked, which is linked to his Twitter. Still, the Twitterverse exploded, calling the account sick and nonce. Ian Watkins is still serving his time, having been transferred to HM Prison Long Lartin in 2014 to be closer to his mother after she had a kidney transplant. He still has 25 years left and 6 in license. It's estimated that on a daily average, 5 children die from some sort of child abuse, and thousands, maybe even millions more, are living every day of their life being abused physically, mentally, and sexually. If you or someone you know is in need of help from abuse, the Child Help National Child Abuse Helpline will be linked in the description below. And that's all the updates I could find for Ian Watkins, so I'll see you in the next episode of After the Trial.